Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving deep into a project that, well, really carved its own path in the NFT world. OnChainMonkey, or OCM. This isn't just, another digital art collection. It's this fascinating blend of tech innovation, art, and honestly, a real commitment to social impact in Web3.
Absolutely. It's got layers.
Exactly. So our mission today, give you a shortcut. We want to hit the key turning points, the surprising facts that make OCM stand out. Get ready, because here's where it gets really interesting. So let's start at the beginning. OCM, it debuted on Ethereum, right? 10,000 unique pixelated monkeys.
Yep, Ethereum-based.
And the launch, it was kind of under the radar, a stealth-free mint, September 11, 2021.
That's right. Free mint. And boom, all 10,000 claimed in about 4 hours. Just gone.
4 hours, wow. And each one had, what, 7 traits? Fur, mouth, eye?
7 generative trait categories, yeah. Clothes, hat, earring, background, the works, all unique. But, the truly groundbreaking part of that initial launch.
The tech.
Yeah, the tech feat behind it. This really shifted things. Unlike most NFTs back then, all the OCM artwork, all the metadata, it was fully stored on-chain.
Fully on-chain, no external files.
None. No off-chain images that could just vanish, The smart contract itself generated each monkey image from code.
Okay, so it's actually drawing the monkey from the contract data.
Exactly. And get this, they encoded all 10,000 images and all their traits in one single Ethereum transaction.
Wait, one transaction for everything?
One transaction. Cost only about 0.8 ETH in gas back then, which for deploying 10,000 unique on-chain assets was just revolutionary.
Incredible efficiency.
Totally. It made OCM the very first PFP profile picture collection created entirely on-chain in one go. A huge milestone for NFT storage for scalability.
Okay, so that technical first really set the tone. And they didn't stop there.
No, they kept innovating.
Right. Phase 2 seemed driven by the community, rewarding those early believers, which led to OCM Desserts.
OCM Desserts, yeah. February 2022, another 10,000 tokens, again, fully on-chain.
And also free.
Also free. Airdrop to all the Genesis holders. A thank you, really. And these desserts were quite clever. 3 types. Incredible Ice Pop, Divine Donut, and Celestial Cake. Different rarities.
How rare are we talking?
Well, the rarest, the Celestial Cakes. At their peak, some sold for like 80 ETH. Over $200,000.
Wow. For a free airdrop.
Exactly, but the kicker was the mechanic.
Eat to evolve.
Eat to evolve. How did that work?
Holders could take their Genesis monkey and have it consume, basically burn a dessert token.
Okay, so the dessert disappears.
Right. And that action would spawn a brand new NFT, an OCM Karma monkey. But importantly, the original Genesis monkey. It remained intact. You kept both.
Ah, okay. So it's like an upgrade path, but you don't lose the original.
Precisely. And the type of dessert you burned influenced the karma you got. Celestial Cake gave you the highest tier karma.
And these karma NFTs, they weren't just pixelated anymore, were they?
Oh no, completely different aesthetic. A massive artistic upgrade.
Tell me more. We're talking high-resolution, 3D rendered monkeys. Like really rich detail, animation, crafted by an Academy Award-nominated art team.
Seriously, like who?
Animators who'd worked on huge films like Ice Age, Rio, top-tier talent.
So they went from simple pixels to Hollywood-level 3D. What did the community think? That's a big jump.
They loved it, overwhelmingly. It showed OCM was serious about pushing the art forward, but still kept that core identity. And technically, just as impressive as Genesis.
Still on-chain.
Still fully on-chain.
Wow.
All the karma traits, the metadata, generated and stored right there. The smart contract even handled the random trait distribution when they were minted.
That sounds complex for 3D models.
It was. Each karma had like 24, 25 layered parts.
Yeah.
Billions of possible combinations, all managed algorithmically on-chain. Another technical masterclass.
So with Genesis and Karma, the OCM ecosystem really started to build out. Owning either one got you into their monkeyverse.
Membership, basically.
Yeah.
With holder-exclusive perks and access.
Okay, beyond the cool tech and the evolving art, there's this whole other side to OCM, their mission, do well and do good.
Yeah, that's central to their identity.
The founders, Danny Yang, Amanda Terry, Bill Tai, they really baked this into the project's culture, didn't they? Using that RISE acronym.
They did. RISE. Respect, integrity, sustainability, enrichment. Those are their core values. And this raises an important question, right? How does that nice-sounding ethos actually translate into, real action?
Good question. How did it?
Well, for one, it attracted a different kind of community. Lots of Web3 builders, investors, artists, people really focused on positive change.
Okay.
And a big part of making it real was the OnChainMonkey DAO. the Decentralized Autonomous Organization.
Right, the DAO. How does that work in OCM's case?
It's baked into the contracts. 50% of all the primary mint money plus a slice of the secondary royalties go straight into a community treasury. Automatically.
Yeah.
And every OCM holder, Genesis or Karma, gets voting rights. If you hold both, you get extra weight.
Yeah.
So the community genuinely controls the funds and decides where the do-good part happens.
That's real empowerment. Have there been concrete examples of this impact?
Oh, absolutely. Some really profound ones. The DAO funded the evacuation of Sherbat Gula.
The Afghan girl from National Geographic?
That's her. Evacuated her and her family to safety, funded by the OCM community.
That's incredible.
Yeah. They also donated to humanitarian aid in Ukraine, supported coral reef restoration through a UN initiative, organized local cleanups. Real-world stuff.
Wow.
And adding to that, there was a member who donated their own Genesis monkey to raise funds for ocean conservation, part of that UN Life Below Water program.
So individuals stepping up too.
Exactly. And others started grassroots things like beach cleanups down in Belize or fixing up a skate park for kids in Brazil. It really shows the mantra in action.
They also seem to have interesting ways to keep the community engaged, like this banana token.
Yeah, the banana token economy. It's an off-chain social token.
Off-chain? How does that work?
You earn bananas for being active, helpful in Discord, engaging on Twitter, things like that. Then you can redeem them for merch, event tickets, maybe even allow list spots for future drops.
Kind of gamifies participation.
It does. And then there are the monkey missions, too. Another gamified system.
What are those?
Holders could do specific tasks. Sometimes just holding their NFT qualifies, and they level up, earn rewards. It keeps people involved. And tying back to the impact, remember those beach cleanups?
Yeah.
People literally earn banana tokens for participating in the real-world cleanup. So you do good, you get rewarded within the ecosystem. You could trade those bananas for OCM gear or access. It makes the do-good part really tangible.
That's a neat feedback loop. And OCM's impact isn't just internal, right? They've gotten external recognition.
Definitely. MetaGood, which is the parent company behind OCM, they partnered with Asprey Studio, the luxury brand, for that Asprey Bugatti egg collection. OCM was the digital asset partner.
Okay, high-profile partnership.
Yep. And Fast Company put MetaGood on their 2022 Best World-Changing Ideas list for impact investing. Plus, the OCM artwork has been shown at places like Christie's Art plus Tech Summit. So, yeah. Get noticed.
Okay, so they built this strong foundation on Ethereum, blending tech, art, and impact. But then they did something pretty radical.
A big pivot.
They looked beyond Ethereum. Where did they go next? This was a bold move.
Incredibly bold. Early 2023, they jumped headfirst into Bitcoin Ordinals.
Ordinals. Explain that again quickly.
Sure. Ordinals tech lets you inscribe digital assets like NFTs directly onto individual Satoshis, the smallest unit of Bitcoin, right on the Bitcoin blockchain itself.
Gotcha. So putting NFTs on Bitcoin.
Exactly. And in February 2023, OCM did something historic. They inscribed the entire 10,000 Genesis collection onto Bitcoin.
All 10,000.
In a single transaction. They managed to compress all the monkey data down to only about 20 kilobytes.
20 kilobytes for 10,000 monkeys. That's tiny.
Insanely small. And by doing that, OCM became the very first 10,000-piece PFP collection on Bitcoin, period.
Wow. So like the pioneers.
Instantly, people started calling them the CryptoPunks of the Ordinals era. And Danny Yang, one of the founders, was clear about why. If you think something is valuable, it should be on the most secure chain. It wasn't a gimmick. It was deep conviction about Bitcoin's security.
Okay, first 10K collection on Bitcoin. That's huge. But they didn't stop there with Ordinals, did they? They launched something new.
Nope. They kept pushing. June 2023, they launched OCM Dimensions, a totally new generative art collection built specifically for Bitcoin to really show off what Ordinals could do.
And what could it do, according to OCM?
Well, what's fascinating here is how they did it. The first 300 Dimensions pieces, inscribed directly on Bitcoin. Each one is a high-res 3D animated artwork.
Animated 3D on Bitcoin.
Generated entirely from on-chain code. They rendered dynamically in like 4K or even 8K resolution. And the craziest part, each inscription is under 1 kilobyte in size.
Under 1 KB for animated 3D. How is that even possible?
Okay, this is where they got really innovative. They pioneered stuff like recursion and composability on Bitcoin.
Recursion and composability. Can you break that down? Maybe an analogy.
Sure. Think of Legos. Normally, building something complex means using lots of individual bricks.
Right.
What OCM did with recursion is like they inscribed the master blueprint for common Lego bricks, like the code libraries for graphics, P5.js or 3JS, onto Bitcoin just once.
Okay, so the instructions are on-chain.
Exactly. Now, any other creator making something on Bitcoin can just point to OCM's inscribed blueprint and say, use that graphics library or use that 3D engine. They don't need to reinscribe the whole library themselves.
Ah, so it saves a ton of space and makes complex stuff feasible, like open sourcing building blocks for Bitcoin NFTs.
Precisely. That's a great way to put it, open sourcing the tools.
And they layered on even more innovations with dimensions, didn't they? Something about provenance and old Satoshis.
Oh, yeah. They implemented a parent-child inscription structure, which helps track provenance. They inscribed some pieces on consecutive Satoshi's mined way back in January 2009.
2009, like the earliest days of Bitcoin.
Block 78 sats, some of the oldest Bitcoin in existence, super rare. And they even figured out how to do a randomized reveal after the mint using something called cursed inscriptions, which nobody thought was possible on Ordinals before.
Wow, that's a lot of firsts.
It was a total showcase of Bitcoin NFT innovation. You get this interactive, scalable 3D art, minted natively on Bitcoin, no crazy gas fees, super efficient use of block space. It cemented OCM as real pioneers in the ordinal space, even helping define standards for these digital artifacts.
Okay, so they're deep into Bitcoin now, pushing the tech. What does this all mean for the original Ethereum monkeys? This leads to the migration, right?
Exactly. The next logical, but still unprecedented step, August 2023, they proposed something really wild, an opt-in teleburn migration.
Teleburn, what's that?
It's like a cryptographic teleportation for your NFT. You verifiably burn your NFT on one chain, proving it's gone from there.
Okay, destroying the Ethereum one.
Right. And in return, you get the corresponding NFT minted fresh on the other chain, in this case Bitcoin. It ensures the total supply stays fixed at 10,000 across both chains. No duplicates.
So holders could choose to move their Genesis and later Karma from Ethereum to Bitcoin.
Exactly. They could effectively upgrade their Ethereum NFT into a Bitcoin Ordinal inscription. And these weren't just any inscriptions. They were minted on really special Satoshis. For Genesis, they used Block 9 sats.
Block 9, why is that special?
Those are among the very first Bitcoins ever circulated, back when Satoshi Nakamoto himself was mining. Historically significant.
Very cool. And was this migration forced or expensive?
No, completely voluntary, opt-in, and holder first. The OCM DAO actually voted to subsidize the Bitcoin inscription fees, so loyal holders, especially those who'd earned a special badge, could migrate totally free.
The community paid for the migration.
The community treasury fronted a big chunk, yeah.
So how did the community react to this proposal, moving their assets entirely to a different chain, even if it's Bitcoin?
The reaction was, well, stunningly positive. They held a DAO vote late August 2023. Over 4,700 votes were cast.
High participation.
Very high for OCM. And 99% voted in favor of migrating to Bitcoin.
99%. That's near unanimous. But surely there must have been some internal debate about the cost. This couldn't have been cheap.
Oh, it was a massive financial commitment. The DAO approved 350 ETH from the Treasury. That was over $500,000 then. And Metagood, the company, pledged to cover the rest. The total cost was estimated around $1 million in Bitcoin transaction fees.
$1 million to move chains?
Yeah. And Danny Yang basically said, look, usually projects get paid to move to a new chain. We're doing the opposite. We believe in Bitcoin so much, we're spending $1 million of our own resources to make this happen. That showed real conviction.
It definitely sends a message. So when did the actual migration start?
It kicked off in November 2023, right around OCM's 2-year anniversary. They set up these upgrade portal events online.
How did the portal work?
Pretty smoothly, from what I heard. Holders connected their wallets, initiated the burn of their Ethereum NFT, and then received the new ordinal inscription in their Bitcoin wallet. It included a certificate of ownership, provenance data linking back.
And the old Ethereum NFT.
It becomes non-transferable, locked. So the 10,000 supply is preserved across both chains. This whole process, there's genuinely a first-of-its-kind thing in the NFT world. A full 10K collection doing a cross-chain migration via burn, driven by the community, executed really well technically.
A real feat of decentralized coordination.
Totally. Amanda Terry, the COO, summed it up well. She said the move represented their belief in the future of digital artifacts on Bitcoin, the most secure blockchain. And things like using those Block 9 sats just added to the significance.
It feels like this migration wasn't just about OCM, but maybe signaled a broader shift in how people view NFTs.
I think so, yeah. It definitely tapped into and probably reinforced a growing sentiment among some collectors that Bitcoin Ordinals might hold more long-term security and value than Ethereum NFTs. OCM really positioned themselves at the forefront of that potential paradigm shift.
So switching gears slightly, back to that do well and do good ethos, it seems like that became more than just a mission statement. It became part of OCM's actual identity, right?
Absolutely. It really set them apart from projects that were purely about flipping or profit.
And that resonated.
It clearly did. It attracted this global network, including some pretty high-profile people who like the values and proudly use the OCM monkey as their profile picture. Amanda Terry said it perfectly. Web3 can create wealth, sure, but it can also be used to do good in the real world. That message hit home.
And moving to Bitcoin probably amplified that cultural capital.
For sure, being the first 10K on Bitcoin gave them huge historical significance in ordinal circles. It added credibility not just to OCM, but to the whole ordinals movement, and likely inspired other Ethereum projects to at least explore Bitcoin.
Were there specific moments or campaigns that really went viral and spread this OCM story?
Oh yeah, definitely. That initial announcement in Feb 2023, we inscribed all 10K Genesis monkeys on Bitcoin. That kind of blew up.
The crypto punks on Bitcoin angle.
Yeah, exactly. They had this great graphic comparing the timelines, Bitcoin's birth, Ethereum's birth, punks on ETH, then OCM on BTC in 2023. That narrative really caught on.
And the $1 million migration news?
That too. Making headlines on places like NASDAQ, Bitcoin Magazine. Project spends $1 of own money to move to Bitcoin. That positioned them as bold, committed first movers, captured imaginations. And on the do-good side, that charity auction really stood out.
The one for the coral reefs.
Yeah, a community member donates a rare Genesis. The DAO votes to fund coral restoration. The story of, pixelated monkeys saving the ocean, that got a lot of positive press. Showcased the community's goodwill.
Any other feel-good examples?
Those local meetups, like the beach cleanups where people earn banana tokens, and the skate park rebuild in Rio, they shared before and after pics. That tangible proof of impact really resonated online. I remember seeing photos of just like mountains of trash bags collected, digital monkeys, real-world impact.
So wrapping this up, it's been quite a journey for OnChainMonkey. From that experimental single-transaction Ethereum mint to becoming this by-chain NFT phenomenon, packed with firsts, tech breakthroughs, and these genuine community moments.
It really is remarkable.
What started as these simple minimalist pixel monkeys has genuinely evolved into, well, they call it a digital nation, right? Driving innovation and impact.
Yeah, and those Genesis monkeys now have this unique dual existence permanently on both Ethereum and Bitcoin. A bridge between NFT eras, in a way.
And the community is still pushing.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Still advancing ordinals tech, still rallying around causes. It's rare to see a project weave culture, technology, and social good together so effectively for so long.
It really makes you think. So here's a final thought for you listening. How might community-driven projects like OnChainMonkey reshape not just digital art, but maybe even global philanthropy?
Interesting question to ponder.
Definitely something to keep an eye on in the world of Web3. Remember to rise, repeat, and keep on climbing.